Hi everyone, Cynthia here. I don't know where you live, but where I live, winter came a little early. We had a little bit of snow yesterday, so it's coming, isn't it? The cold is coming. I want to talk to you today about accountability because of something that happened when I went on LinkedIn. I went on LinkedIn just to kind of catch up, and a friend of mine had posted a statement. Let's all agree that accountability has an identified role, an identified human being filling that role, and it's just one person. That statement in and of itself is completely A-OK. What surprised me was the responses that she got from that. That folks were like, yes, let's remind people that that's what it takes, one person. Yes, let's agree it's one person. I kind of thought that was a given, that accountability is the responsibility of an identified person in an identified role. But based on the reactions she got, and she got plenty of them, I thought maybe I would address that in this month's Leaders Log, accountability, right? Because it's one of the 4 dimensions that we deal with. Communication, trust, alignment, and accountability. Communication and trust have a little bit more weight. Nonetheless, the 4 of them are connected and interact. So I started to think about what is accountability made up of? And in my book, it's made up of 2 things: personal ownership and a culture of accountability. So for personal ownership, it's really about the behaviors, the decisions, the performance of that individual employee. I've learned that people who naturally accept personal ownership, it's driven from the inside out. Individuals who have to be constantly reminded of whose responsibility it is are generally individuals that are driven from the outside in. The employees that you're looking for are those who will step up and take ownership because it's coming from the inside out. The second area, as I said, is a culture of accountability. Do you foster a culture of accountability? If employees are engaged, it means that they're feeling connected with one another, with the goals and purposes of the organization, and with the leaders. The further away you get from connecting and helping employees connect, the more damage is done. If there is damage to be done, it comes in the forms of frustrations, disagreements, disengagement, low morale, and the important one is a lack of trust and commitment, which permeates the association, or permeates the organization, and certainly causes, at the very minimum, high turnover. So I thought there's 3 areas for you to consider when you're examining how accountability is handled in your own organization. The first is the responsibility unclear? Has the manager communicated the level of expectation around results, your KRIs, and have they included the expectation around performance through your KPIs? Those are 2 very distinct measurements that need to and should be shared with employees to resolve any unclearness about their responsibility to the project. The second thing is to consider management behavior in this. Are managers rewarding poor performance? If they are, that's when you're going to start having issues of trust and commitment, because other team members will see that and say, boy, if that person can get away from it, then they really don't care about my work, or I can try to get away with it, in terms of what individual employees are accountable for. The second area, besides rewarding poor performance, that you need to look at for your managers is feedback being given, or is it a policy or a practice of limited feedback, no feedback, or poor feedback? Feedback needs to be very specific, right? It's not like coaching where you have open-ended questions for the most part. It's feedback. So some of the things that managers could consider is asking their team, is there anything we should be doing as a team that we're overlooking? Do you, as an individual who's been assigned this accountability for this project, do you need more direction or less direction from me? Do you need more feedback, less feedback, or more specific feedback from me? And the ultimate question is, where can I help or coach you? Those are specific questions that the manager can be asking the employees in charge of and being accountable for certain projects. So unclear responsibility is one area to check. Management behavior and types of questions and feedback are another to check. And the third to check is to ask yourself, am I fostering a culture of accountability? Is my corporate strategy an approach towards accountability? Because successful organizations make accountability a priority. Yes, communication is a priority, trust is a priority, and developing those areas. But alignment and accountability should be a priority within a corporation in order to foster those really good feelings of trust and commitment within your organization, and not having employees feel that no one's paying attention to that, and no one's making sure that the person responsible for it, who is identified as being responsible, is actually being held responsible. So give some thought to your accountability measures and thoughts, and your corporate strategy towards that. It will help create a stronger culture that involves communication, trust, alignment, and accountability. Thanks so much. I'll talk to you next month.